Greetings to everybody from the South, TeleSUR, English. Thank you for having me on this platform and to speak about these historic elections that are happening in New York City right now, my hometown, my home city.
It's a pleasure to have you with us. So tell us to begin with, what is the background of these elections that are taking place in New York and in other states of the country? What's the story coming to this election day?
Yeah, so as far as New York City, there are various elections happening throughout the country, municipal elections. There's also elections happening in the cities of Minnesota and Seattle for their mayorships, and as well as a referendum out in California and governor elections out in New Jersey. But here in New York City, we are right now at a precedent moment in our history. We are right now are in the process of an election, a very historic election, an election that has shocked the nation nationwide, and I think globally as well. I think it has to do with the candidates that we have. Precisely one, Zora Mamdani, who is the 34-year-old assembly person from the Queens district. That he is running as a Democratic Socialist, but under the Democratic Party line, which he was able to successfully win during the primary elections in June, where he defeated ex-governor of the Democratic Party, Andrew Cuomo, who right now is still running, but in the independent line. But what we see right now in New York City is very high energy, very, I guess, like electrifying energy amongst the youth, amongst different generations, seeing how this election is an election that's going to determine the destiny of New York City, but also the rest of the country, because New York City is one of the big major cities of the United States. It's a city that influences U.S. culture, but also world culture as well, because we think about it. We have the United Nations here. We have we're a very diverse city. So we're going to see how these results end up at the end of the day at 9 p.m.
Let's stay on New York City, as you were saying. In New York, this candidate that is running for the Democrat Party, even though he's Democrat Socialist, he has seen a lot of backlash coming from the right in general. Why is it that this candidate is facing so much pressure from the right against his policies? We have also seen him condemning the genocide that took place in Gaza. So what's the policy here, and what is the impact that this victory, you were already mentioned some of it, what's the impact that it could have, the domino effect that it could have in other Democrat states?
Right. So the candidate, Zora Mamdani, who is the Ugandan-born assembly member, who's a Muslim, Democratic Socialist. I think a lot of the backlash that has come from the far right of the MAGA movement, but as well as from the established Democrats like Andrew Cuomo and other figures who are funded by the AIPAC lobby, the Israeli lobby. It has to do with many factors. I think one of them has to do with the proposal that Mandami is giving of for the working class in New York City, that his campaign, he's running on an affordability campaign, because in New York City, like the rest of the country and the world, we're having an affordability crisis. People don't have the means to live a livable life when it comes to their housing, when it comes to the way they travel, when it comes to childcare. And he's running on that. He's running on wanting to freeze the rent, to help out a lot of New Yorkers that live in rent-stabilized apartments, not get their rent increase. He's running on wanting to make buses free, the transit free, and he's running as well as to make childcare affordable for many New Yorkers who have children. And a lot of this could be possible because New York City's GDP is more than other countries. New York City has a GDP of a gross domestic product of over $1 trillion. So a lot of this stuff could be funded and possible, because people ask, where's the money going to come from? But as well as his solidarity with the immigrant community when it comes to ICE, the federal agency that right now is harassing and terrorizing immigrant groups from around the world, following the Trump policy of doing the mass deportations. Mamdani has said that he will be in solidarity with the immigrant community and make sure to exert this thing that we call sanctuary city laws that prohibits ICE from working in collaboration with the NYPD, with the police department. That unfortunately the mayor that's in power right now, Eric Adams, is allowing ICE to work with the police department because Matt Adams has become a puppet to the Trump administration. But I think also, and I think a clear also other part of this, it has to do with his faith as a Muslim, but also as his pro-Palestine stance. Feel, and what we've seen in New York is that him getting attacked, like these Islamophobic attacks, due to him being a Muslim, and also his stance on Palestine with them trying to make a comparison between the tragedies of 9/11 with him, as well as trying to make him out to be a Hamas sympathizer due to his pro-Palestinian stance to scare the Jewish faction of New Yorkers in New York City. But what we have seen as well as a lot of it hasn't worked. I think because New York City is a very diverse city, and we have seen what occurred to our Muslim brothers and sisters post 9/11, where a lot of them were the victims of racist and prejudiced attacks during that time. And I think New Yorkers want to stand on the right side of history, is those that support the candidate Zora Mamdani, as well as people understanding that there is a genocide happening in Palestine, in Gaza. And Mamdani, with his stance that he's had to take, as far as him speaking against the genocide, yet being in favor of a two-state solution, but also talking about exerting United Nations laws in case he becomes the mayor of New York to arrest the genocidal Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, says a lot about a candidate who's running for one of the biggest positions, one of the biggest mayorships in the city, in the country, which is New York City. So I think we are seeing the true face of when it comes to the far right, but also the established Democrats attacking Mamdani due to his faith. But we will see what's going to happen, what's going to be the results during tonight's elections at 9 p.m.